JM Synthetics, where Zaniac Jason is asking you if you're a DIY pro to reach out to him for all of your lubricants, minus the KY. Ha ha! JMSynthetics.com. And if you sign up to be a preferred customer, you give him $20, and then you right away go buy $100 worth of stuff. That's encouraged because then he's going to give you the $20 back. That is a great deal. And when you have that preferred customer status, what's up, Bruce? Why don't you get up there, man? You're looking like you just puked or something. What's going on? Go on up there. Seriously, his ears are all back. Everybody wants to see your handsome face, big guy. Go on. Go on up there. Go on. Come on up. Attaboy. Attaboy. Okay, yeah. Okay, we'll play later. You just go rest for a little bit, okay? Where was I? I don't know. Spend $100, they give you the 20 back. And then, when you're a preferred customer, it opens up the entire product line. They don't just open up the whole product line to everybody. You got to, pay money to open up the product line. You might want to talk with corporate about that. I don't know if that's the best way to do it. It seems weird. But anyway, that seems to work. They know what they're doing. What the hell? I'm just a stupid podcaster. That's all at jmsynthetics.com. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage right over my shoulder. There they are. NMLS number 3035. Why do they want me to say that? I don't know. I probably do it once every 20 times. But anyway, it doesn't matter where you are in the listening audience. If you're thinking about a mortgage, would you please call upon Mario to get to work for you? It isn't just like in West Michigan. It's anywhere, okay? The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Mario's number at his desk is 231-332-6505. I would describe him as jolly. He's like 6'9", and he looks like the type of guy who was like on the offensive line for the football team. He just knock you in the next week. God forbid. He's the type of guy that he was probably like that same size in high school too. 6'9", and then like sumo size. Just an enormously gigantic man who, if he's like a pulling guard coming around the end there, whammo! 10-yard run every time. Thank you to Mario and the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Today is Friday, the 12th of June, 2020. The Eric Zane Show Podcast begins now.
And now, here's a guy who has to have a pork chop tied around his neck to get the dogs to play with him.
Dude, keep your mouth shut if you knew it was good for you, buddy.
It's the Eric Zane Show Podcast with your host, Eric Zane.
Thank you, Johnny. Welcome to the Eric Zane Show Podcast. Yes, that's right. We do it each and every day of the week, Monday through Friday. This is a daily rant-filled podcast. Okay, I might have to rant and storytelling. I like to tell stories. I like to rant. I like to swear like an idiot. Kind of let it fly. This is my platform rant-filled show covering news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. Hold on, I need a little more of that. The guitar playing, and as you know, I got that guitar that over here in the corner that you can barely see because I got the dogs in here for today's show. And the rich history of that guitar, as you know, that was my old show, the Free Beer and Hot Wing show at a radio convention. It was weird how they had that as a prize, but we won it, took it to the radio station, and It just sat there. And I said, hey, can I take that? I want to go and practice and learn how to play. Well, and I ended up giving it up after a couple of months. But I never quite, it never made it back to the radio station. So even when I was on speaking terms with those gentlemen, they were like, when are you going to bring the guitar back? And I'm like, and I never did. So it's here. I should probably sell it and split the money. I just got it back, and the idea was, let's learn how to play. Zaniac Jimmy in beautiful Portland, Maine, said, Zane, I want to do some online lessons with you, and then you can promote it. And I'm like, yeah, all right, yeah, let's do it, man. So I got the guitar back. I got the amp back. It's a nice Line 6 amp with a lot of, pretty good starter amp. I would say it's a damn good starter amp. What do I know, though? And this really terrific guitar, it's a Canadian company. I think it's called Good Fine Instruments. And that's actually a really good guitar. And it needs new strings. It needs a lot of shit done to it. So Zaniac John, who plays that music, that's why I'm talking about this. He goes, yeah, man, bring it over and I'll get it all ready to go for you. It hasn't left that spot. It's to a point now where when I commit to wanting to play it, I don't even actually get started. It's just embarrassing. And it seems like it would be something that I would really enjoy. But part of it is I just don't have the time. It's seriously. The days are getting so full of stuff with this podcast. And I was talking with a friend of mine the other day, and she's like, why don't you hire somebody? And I go, I could, but I'm just really reluctant to do that. Not only because financially, I don't even think I'm ready for that. But, man, the whole idea of, first of all, training someone and then working with them, the way I do it is just not 2020. It is just so fucked up. Nobody likes to be around me. Nobody likes to talk to me. I don't like to talk to them. This is a hypothetical person. I so often get frustrated when it isn't done the way I want it to be done. So I already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to, this hypothetical person would come in here, and then I'm not going to like the way it's happening, and I'm going to react in a way that makes them go. So it's a combination of me and the way people are. If I fuck up in a job and someone says, hey, stupid, fix it, I'll just go, okay, and fix it. But I've learned that I am better off being alone. Or it just works out better that way. So I'd rather just do it all myself and let the day get so that I'm just consumed with this. So and that's kind of the way it is. And what I mean by that is I so am invested in doing this podcast. It takes so much time every day to take care of all of the moving parts in it. I don't have time to do anything. But believe me, I'm not complaining. I enjoy this. And Diana's like, oh, you're just spending too much time. Like, look, I'm at home. You can come up and talk to me anytime you want. And you're at home too. And so, this is the job. This is what Eric does in order to make ends meet. We are very, very blessed to have this. So I don't want to hear any complaints. Stuff it. Oh, you will? I'll put you to work. Ooh. Ooh. Can you put on this mask that makes you look like Throat/Dale? Oh. Ooh. All right. We got a lot of fun things to get to. I don't even know how to take it back. I don't know if these are necessarily fun things. I'll try to make them fun. I always try to make the show fun, put some type of humor into it, despite the fact that a lot of what we talk about today isn't that fun. There's a lot of shitty stuff going on in the world. Hell, when you turn around and you look at the news and you have terrible story after terrible story after terrible story, it's tough to get any momentum. So, you got to You got to figure that out. We'll do our best. We've got another new, racist incident, pandemic, financial crisis. We have another, it kind of applies to more than one thing. We have another new Karen. What? I can't even remember all of them. We had Central Park Karen. We had the dude on the bike who was like a Karen, but he was really like aggressive and weird. There was another one, too, that I'm forgetting. Well, we've got another new one. Right by near where I live here in West Michigan, there is a community on the other side of Grand Rapids, probably 30, 40 minutes away from where I am because I'm way west. I'm like 15 miles west of Grand Rapids. This city is just to the east of it, known as Lowell. Lowell is, you're approaching the foothills of shit kicker land in Lowell, okay? The chief of police there in Lowell, which is a rather small community, was forced to resign. The people that run the show there, the city commissioners or the city board, said you either resign or you're fired. So that happened. Now, why did that happen? It does center around the riots less than 2 weeks ago, okay? 2 weeks ago in Grand Rapids, there was a big riot. Cop cars were burned. Windows busted out, buildings looted, the whole shit show. This guy, this cop, took to social media and did something. Now, so he's out of the job, but what exactly was he fired for? I think I know. He thinks he knows. That's not weird. He's got a lawyer involved, so it's all fucked up. He's speaking out now. We'll discuss a little bit of that. It's. I'll say this. From what I'm learning, it was a fucking stupid move on his part to do what he did. And I don't understand what the fuck he was thinking. But the whole community of hillbillies in Lowell is like coming out of the woodwork to support this dumbass. A popular country group has changed their name because of racist connotations. What? We were like, wait, what's going on here? The word that the news that Lady Antebellum changed their name. We'll discuss that. Remember I mentioned the riots in Grand Rapids here a couple of weeks ago. More looters seen on camera during the riot 2 weeks ago in this community have been charged. Yeah, there was cameras everywhere getting material, and then the police have just been pouring over them, and I don't know exactly how they match faces with names. I don't know if it's as simple as, hey, I know that guy. But it's happening. I think these were the 6th and 7th ones who have done it. The one, if you remember, the girl number 2, the 22-year-old who looks like she's about 40, she was easily recognizable because people recognized her from various adult films. I never really got into that, and I'm probably just gonna leave it right there. But that was a thing. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, I had to back off of that story. I actually ripcorded on the podcast. That's the first time that's ever happened that I've ripcorded on a story. I was all set, ready to go off on that story. Because my one podcast ended, and then the story broke after the podcast. I took it to social media, and then out of the woodwork, people I know were reaching out to me saying, "Hey, man, I had a sponsor who's related to the young lady, but it wasn't a concern about my publicizing it." Then I had a close friend reveal the same thing, like, "Oh man, hey, And I was actually asked, hey, man, can you do me a solid and back off? And I said, I'm going to do that because I like you. Because you asked me, yeah, I'm going to back off. So I did. I did back off. It's funny because I don't know the person. Well, they knew him. They knew her. Oh, boy, did they know her. Yikes. So I bailed. All right. I also want to read to you an email from Bleeding Heart Brian. It is a response to the segment I did with Mike the Cop. When I had Mike the Cop on, I asked him some some questions that were hard to answer. He answered them mostly. There was some tap dancing, I think. There were some pauses, I think. There was also some misinformation, which I, to his face, disputed. There was also in particular, whether or not the cop knew, Chauvin, that the guy had stopped breathing. And yes, he was told 2 or 3 minutes ahead of time that he had no pulse. Not to mention, Mike the Cop was trying that whole thing about the old man in Buffalo went for the cop's gun. That was not true, or put his hand. It was all bullshit. I didn't believe that for a second, and I'm like, no, he didn't. He didn't go for the cop's gun. Man. Well, anyway, this isn't my point of view. This is an email from Bleeding Heart Brian about Mike the Cop. And I'm going to read it to you. And you know what it's going to do? It's going to piss Mike the Cop off. I can promise you I'm going to get a text message saying, fuck that guy. We'll get to that. But that's all coming up on this show. Yesterday, this is the scene because, I'm working on Diet Bet. Got to lose that 4% again. We're about 2 weeks into the current Diet Bet. And we are going to do another one, I think. I think we're going to do another one. But we're going to take a little time between the ending of this Diet Bet so that I can build up hype for the next one to get as many people involved as we can. If you've been struggling with weight, I'm telling you, the simple idea that you are in a competition will push you to the promised land. I promise. I promise this. So we will do this again in a couple of weeks. But right now I'm in the middle of one, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And I've been running my ass off, and I've been eating better, and so this is great. So yesterday, I'm like, I'm going out for another run. Here we go. Boom. And this is a nice, easy one because the day before I worked very hard. So this is what's called a recovery run. Just nice and easy. I got my music. I was listening to Sammy Hagar. I had the Sammy Hagar playlist going. I had Bad Motor Scooter from Montrose. I went with when Sammy Hagar's solo material, heavy metal. Call it heavy metal. Something, something on a red line. Call it heavy metal. I fall in love again. Come on, you know it sounds good. So I'm off. And I noticed to my left, clouds look a little funky, no big deal. A couple minutes go by, and I'm approaching the end of it's an out and back. You go out about a mile and a half, come back a mile and a half. I'm approaching mile and a half out, and I look, and the clouds look unbelievable. I'm like, wow, look at that. And it's, I guess, what's described as I think some people call it a shelf cloud, and this front is moving in from the northwest, and it's a long shelf. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was 10 miles. It was enormous. And I stopped the run, paused the music, paused Sammy Hagar. It's got to be substantial if you're going to pause Sammy Hagar. And I hit panoramic on the phone and took a beautiful panoramic shot of this shelf cloud. Posted it to Twitter. And I noticed as I put the phone down that I could see in the distance, however far away, rain falling. You can just tell it looks like a a foggy curtain almost falling out of this massive shelf. And I go, wow, it's coming down somewhere. No idea how far away. And I don't know how fast this thing is moving. I get to about the spot where I turn around, start coming back, and in 1 minute's time, it looks a lot closer. I'm like, oh, shit. This is going to hit. Now, I don't care if it starts raining on me, but I got my phone, and I'm like, this is going to be a massive amount of rain. So I probably run for another minute and a half, and I start feeling drops. And I'm like, oh, boy, this is not good. So then continue on. It's starting to rain a little harder. I'm like, here we go. This is it. It's coming. I put the phone under my shirt and tuck it into my waistband. It's kind of like moving around and flippity-flopping it. And I'm like, oh, God, it's going to fall right out of there and probably shatter on the ground. I can't do that. I grab the phone. I'm holding it again. There's two other women in front of me that are running, and they're starting to come down even more. And then all of a sudden, kabam! And it's just pouring now. It's just bad. So all I'm worried about is the phone. And these ladies, they don't want to be soaked with the rain, so they're kind of like huddling under like a big tree. And here I come, and I'm just worried about the phone. So what do? In true Mr. 10 fashion, I rip my shirt off. Problem, I don't have the type of body that you want to have a shirt off of because, you know, it hasn't been great, diet vet or not. I still got some big flabby cone titties, and I've got a flabdomen like you wouldn't believe. So my gut is just bouncing around. It's gross. Well, you've seen me. Look at. Hey, guys, look at me. Can you imagine this thing jiggling like this? My titties. I took the shirt off so I could wrap the phone up in the shirt. They turn around as I'm approaching them. They see this big glob of pasty white gut and boobs bouncing up and down as I'm running towards them. They're like, oh, God, disgusting. I kick it in high gear, though, but it ended up working out because the phone was saved because of this. You see, I adapted, survived, and grossed those women out. Incredible. Made it home, soaking wet, and that was it. That's how I wrapped it up. I ran a very fast last mile. Supposed to be a recovery run. My God. Well, I didn't want to run in the rain. I should have just trotted along. I don't know what my problem was. All right. This morning, drinking coffee, getting set to do the show. A little side note. I've got 2 cats, as you know. Had 3, but cat face passed away recently. The inside cats, Milo and Lincoln. Lincoln, one eye. Lincoln looking at me. Lincoln is enormous with, like I said, one eye, and he's meow, meow, meow. Feed me, feed me, feed me. Milo's waiting by his bowl. Feed the cats. They devour it, and I'm always wondering they might be eating that a little too fast. Lincoln finishes his. He goes and gets a drink of water. Milo gets his. Right there on the countertop island where we prepare all the food. And I'm like, God dang it. We are just disgusting here in this house. Now, I mean, yeah, it's terrible that the cat puked, but then you realize, you know, what else is going on in this house that makes us some of the most vile people on the planet? Clean up the puke. Goodbye. Thank you. See you around. And then on to starting the Eric Zane Show Podcast. The open of this dumb show is brought to you by several key sponsors. But before I do, a commercial for Eric, as I like to do. Father's Day is right around the corner. It's not this weekend as I thought it was earlier in the week. It is coming up a week from this weekend. So I want you to think about hiring me on Cameo for an honor, a salute to Dad. A salute to Dad is what I will do on Cameo. Cameo.com/Eric Zane. If you don't know what it is, check it out. It's a lot of fun. I did one yesterday for birthday boy Sebastian Pellerito. Sebastian turned 17 yesterday. That's Mike's kid. Joe's nephew. Sebastian textured the ceiling in this room with one of those brush deals. Dad said, yeah, texture the ceiling. Kid knows how to do that. Did a great job. Big salute to him for his 17th birthday on Cameo. Terrytown RV, thank you to them. They're online at terrytownrv.com. I just had another person, Zaniac Jonathan, say, hey, man, I'm going to head over there. Thank you so much. If you're in the market for a camper, travel trailer, fifth wheel, motorhome, Class A, Class C, diesel or gas. I almost said Giesel or Das. Sprinter van. Truck camper goes in the back of a pickup truck. Folding camper used to be known as a pop-up. Some of those little eco-friendly green things that you pull behind, and it has like a kitchen and a bed in it. That's it. Maybe you want one of those things. You're one of those hippies that goes out west and lives like in the desert. They got it all there. Terrytown RV, online at terrytownrv.com. Also, Green Clean Technologies. There they are right over there. You know, this light is not on, and it's way dark in here. Hang on. It just dawned on me. Much better. Apologies. My friends over at Green Clean Technologies, I want to remind you, they're like, look, people ask us, what the hell do we do here at Green Clean Technologies? Well, if you listen to this show, you know the way it goes with the sponsors is I tell you about the sponsors, and if the need meets your awareness that they are on this show, it might go, I got to call those guys that Zane talks about. Your business needs Green Clean Technologies if you have a data center. All those rows of servers, high-tech equipment, they're a lot more sensitive than the frickin' desktop that I use here for the podcast. You do not want minute dust particles floating around in that environment. You don't want those floating around. They're oddly charged. That can cause an issue with your tech. Green Clean Technologies has the technology to keep those environments clean. Remember, Green Clean Technologies, 560-7272, or online at greencleantechnologies.com. I had a big day yesterday for sponsors. I signed up a new sponsor yesterday who I will reveal on social media today, later on, and start talking about on the podcast for the next 3 months starting on Monday. Look at this. I'm not going to show you a thing. I got this new sponsor here, and you can't see it. I know. I've got a new sponsor right here that's about to hit. I get these signs made from Applied Imaging. They're the best. They're over here. That's who makes my signs. These guys right here, you're going to hear about these guys too. And then this has been a long time coming. I'm going to show you this one. Look at this beautiful sign for Baldwin Ace Hardware. It dawned on me that I haven't had their sign up here. I'm like, I owe you this, for God's sake. So I had the biggest sign made for Baldwin Ace Hardware, the beautiful, amazing business, the DIY kings of the Northland. So I got to hang that up. I got to hang it up, and then it'll fall. Holy crap. Okay. All right, this is the story about what happened in Lowell, Michigan, like I was telling you about in the little rundown about what's coming up on the show. So this cop, he's been in charge of the police for, more than 20 years. And in the community of Lowell, like I said, this is kind of like, this isn't exactly the most diverse area. This is full of hillbillies and shit kickers. Good people live in Lowell. Hell, everybody is good. I think there's good in everybody. It's just sometimes behavior gets a little off the rails. Guilty. So all the riots go down, and this dummy decides that he's going to, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. If you're a cop and you have a handful, a band of like local kids or young adults who decide that they want to protect Lowell, and they get their hunting rifles and strap them on, and they get a picture taken that they're going to defend Lowell. I don't think the thing to do if you're in charge of the police is to promote them and say, hey, folks, we're protected because we got these 4 great guys who are going to defend us with their right to bear arms. Now, as you know, I love the right to bear arms. I bear arms all the damn time. I constantly got a gun on me. In fact, the only time I don't have a gun on me is when I'm sleeping, and then it's just under my bed. Well, the riots go down, and in this shit-kicker community, these 4 hillbilly kids take a picture with their rifles, and then on the police force's Facebook page, they wrote, look at this, we respect the right to bear arms, yeah. And then the dumb former cop on his personal page does like a whole post that says, like, these guys are going to protect us from looters. These guys are amazing, yeah. You know, if you're a cop, why the fuck do you do that? I mean, to me, that's just asking for trouble. First of all, nobody's going to go out to Lowell and riot in fucking Lowell. But this dummy decided to go ahead and feel about these 4 hillbilly kids doing this shit. And so the city commission said, dude, we can't have that. You got to get out of here. Either quit or we're going to fire you. And that was it. Now, the entire community didn't like the fact that he was fired, so they've made a big deal about it. And now the dude, the cop, is speaking out. I don't know what the hell he was thinking, why he did this in the first place, because it didn't need to be done. And what cop who is in a leadership position like this is going to say, yes, we are now protected by these young hillbillies and their hunting rifles. It was all stupid. And they're talking about it now because the dude, the cop, I think he's lawyering up and getting ready for his next big move.
Ousted and now speaking out, the former Lowell police chief has a lot to say about his forced resignation from the city. He was effectively terminated after a post online publicizing support for armed men who wanted to protect Lowell from violent protests like the one that happened in Grand Rapids.
The chief.
What cop does that? Don't most cops just say, yeah, leave policing to police? I mean, if you're a cop that's worth anything, I would guess that's got to be in your a toolbox to, not sit there and promote the locals for acting like a fucking militia and encouraging them to do that shit. To me, considering the powder keg of trouble that is in the world today, that's just asking for trouble to come into your stupid city. You know what I mean?
Dismissing claims of intimidation and racism, saying that his termination was wrong. News 8's Leon Hendricks has our report.
By the way, I don't think there's anything racist about this. He seems to think that people are saying, I don't know, are people talking about this as racist? I don't think it has anything to do with race. I think the guy was just fired because he did a stupid thing, in my opinion. But he seems to think that people are saying he's a racist, okay? Now, in this clip, he's talking. He actually has a list that he's reading from of all of the people he knows that are, like, would fit the description that he likes or associates with to show that he is, in fact, diverse, which, in my opinion, that just makes it look worse. But I don't know.
And Rapids.
The chief dismissing claims of intimidation and racism, saying that his termination was wrong. News 8's Leon Hendricks has our report.
Out front on his lawyer's front lawn.
Of course.
I'm Steve Buchla, the former chief of the city of Lowell.
The now former Lowell police.
What was done to me was wrong.
And standing firm.
And I have broad shoulders for a reason.
Steve Buchla was ousted after this Facebook post where he expressed support for 4 young men who'd contacted PD.
His shoulders aren't that broad. He needs to hit the P90X shoulders and back workout.
Saying they'd be armed downtown, open carrying, in case violent protesters like the ones in Grand Rapids came to Lowell.
Yeah, I can't imagine being the chief of police saying, folks, in case those protesters come down, these 4 guys are ready to protect us. You're the cops. You can't do that.
A post from Lowell PD stated that the men were within their constitutional rights and had the support of the police. A post on Bucola's personal page included a picture of them and these remarks. They saw what happened in Grand Rapids. They said it's not going to happen here. We have your backs.
To those who feel like this was some sort of intimidation or racism, what is your response?
You know, anybody that knows my family dynamics, this is laughable, but I'll put it out there. I have a brother who's homosexual. My stepson...
If you're the brother, you're like, no! No, I didn't tell you to say that. What the fuck?
And is dating a Hispanic girl who's been living with us since the coronavirus has kicked off. And my stepson. Anybody that knows my family dynamics, this is laughable, but I'll put it out there. I have a brother who's homosexual.
I heard he's got a big cock.
My stepson is dating a Hispanic girl who's been living with us.
We gotta do that.
And these remarks.
We gotta do that 5 more times.
They saw what happened in Grand Rapids. They said it's not going to happen here. We have your backs.
To those who feel like this was some sort of intimidation or racism, what is your response?
You know, anybody that knows my family dynamics, this is laughable, but I'll put it out there. I have a brother who's homosexual.
I heard he's got a big cock.
My stepson is dating a Hispanic girl who's been living with us since the coronavirus has kicked off. And my stepson's best friend is half black, half white.
Cool story,
so for someone to actually even insinuate that I'm a racist is laughable.
Criticism
Who gives a fuck?
came swift, and the city ultimately apologized before telling Bucola to resign or be fired. He chose the
Get the fuck out of here!
former and is now off the job.
It's so disappointing the way that I had to go out.
You motherfucking accuser!
I wanted to go out on my terms, not on theirs.
Bucola has support. On display with a weekend rally denouncing his ouster. A GoFundMe page has raised $7 grand in 2 days.
I'll be honest with you, I was choked up and I was at a loss for words, kind of like I am now.
Shush.
But an apology for his actions wasn't on the table here. Instead, he wants one from the city he served for decades that he says wronged him in the end. Bucola is now considering his legal options. He plans to address city leaders when they meet publicly for the first time since his ouster on Monday. He expects supporters will be there as well. He says he was already considering retirement. He'd served Lowell since 1995 and was months away from benefit eligibility. He wonders if that, too, has something to do with his ouster. We're reporting in Lowell, Leon Hendricks, News 8.
All right, so maybe the guy just got fired because, you know, the approach about encouraging these 4 dudes to do what they did. I mean, I would say that that's a terrible mistake that he made. I think that the city should be able to speak. And I mean, if the city comes out and says that, say, yeah, we didn't like that he did that. That's why he was ousted. Well, then, I mean, who's the ones talking about racism? They just floated it out there. It doesn't sound like anything racist to me. I don't think what he did seemed racist in any way, or intimidating. It was just stupid. If the guy should be fired of anything, it should be for doing just that. What cop goes and encourages the locals to go walk down the street with guns? You shouldn't. It sounds like it was a big mistake on his part, and maybe that's why he got fired. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Had several people that sent this story about the band, the group. I don't like to say band. The group, Lady Antebellum. I was a little confused. Did you hear my voice crack there? I was a little confused when I saw that Lady Antebellum are changing their name to get rid of its slavery connotations. And I went, I don't know what that is. I know what slavery and slavery connotations are, but I don't know how Lady Antebellum. So inform me. I will read and find out what's up. And I read the article, and I still wasn't clear on it. And then I did a little research, and I kind of got it. So I guess I'm going to share it with you. And then it begs the question, did the band just find out that this is the problem? I think that's a question, because they're it seems proactive, but had anybody raised a stink over the years to them about this? And I think that they should say that, because if this had been a thing, and they hadn't done anything about it. Well, I guess it's good that they finally do get to it, but what the hell took you so long if there is any problem with it? But all right. Country band Lady Antebellum changing their name to get rid of its associations with slavery in the Civil War. I'll cover that in a second. They have that song, Need You Now. Everybody seems that's like their big hit. Will now be simply known as Lady A.
You sound like a goddamn pussy to me.
All right. We've strived for our music to be a refuge, inclusive of all, they said on an Instagram post. We've watched and listened more than ever these last few weeks, and our hearts have been stirred with conviction. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if, I don't really follow this band, and I sure as hell don't follow country music. So maybe this is the thing that's been bubbling under, but I can't find it. I can't find any proof that for however long these guys have been a band, which is more than 10 years, that this has been a thing. We've watched and listened more than ever these last few weeks, and our hearts have been stirred with conviction, our eyes open wide to the injustices, inequality, and biases black women and men have always faced and continue to face every day. All right. The band said they've decided to make the change because, quote, blind spots we didn't even know existed have been revealed. Yeah, I don't think they had any idea this was a thing. Antebellum refers to the antebellum South. This is before the Civil War started in, I believe, 1861. When slavery was legal and in widespread use. All right. So did they, is it like they would say, yeah, man, what are we practicing here? Antebellum. No, it didn't sound right at all. I'm not really sure. That kind of clears it up a little bit, but it goes on to say the band said they'd chosen their name nearly 14 years ago when they took publicity photos in front of a home described as an antebellum-style home. I guess that's the like the way the home was built or the architecture, if you will. And they were dressed up in a period clothing, and for this photograph that was taken, and they said that it reminded them of all the music born in the South that influenced them: Southern rock, blues, R&B, gospel, and country. But we are regretful and embarrassed to say that we did not take into account the associations that weigh down this word, referring to the period of history before the Civil War, which includes slavery. So, yeah, it's a little vague to me. If the band was called Lady Lynch and Lady Roots or something like that, something to do with slavery, it would be very obvious, and they would no doubt be. But this is tricky. I'm a little confused. It seems like they almost reached for it, and then said, "Hey, and our band is about slavery," and I think I get it. Getting out in front of it just in case. All right. They apologized for the name they had been that had been known for over a decade, telling fans they're deeply sorry. It's like they're apologizing for something that no one knew was offensive, But if you say it is, you say it. I don't have any problem with it. But I just hadn't heard that. Who knew? Who knew that we can live in a day and an age where the pussiest of pussy groups is saying sorry for racism, and there's still a group that, they're not really a group anymore, but NWA is still a thing, or it was a thing. NWA said, yeah, fuck yeah, change that racist shit. Lady Antebellum is racist? Come on. That's like the biggest news of all of this. Fuck everything. Fuck everything else. This is a racist thing. Causing pain was never in our hearts. Don't worry, you didn't hurt anybody. You informed us. You enlightened us the connection, but no one's really hurt by that. I mean, seriously, I looked far and wide trying to find some type of outrage about this group, but for the ones that made the song "Need You Now," there is no outrage. You just play that song and then you have sex. You know how many people have gotten laid because of this band or this group? I guess one of the guys plays a guitar. I don't know. I'm not going to try to act like I know anything about this stupid group. I know it's two dudes that are all handsome and some hot chick. The band says they feel awakened and committed to becoming more actively anti-racist. Man, you know those fucking statues are coming down. If Lady Antebellum changes their name, holy shit. I'm surprised Lady Antebellum, or Lady A as they're now known, doesn't bring the statues down themselves. Their tour, they're going to go to every place that has a statue and just bring that fucker right to the ground and hit it over the head with a guitar. I guess there's one around here in Ottawa County where some Confederate piece of shit is on display, and everybody's going to rip the shit out of that one and throw it in the Grand River. Our prayer is that if we lead by example with humility, love, empathy, and action, we can be better allies to those suffering from spoken and unspoken injustices while influencing our children and generations to come. I searched the word antebellum. It's an adjective occurring or existing before a particular war, especially the American Civil War. What does antebellum mean in U.S. history? Holy crap. I have to search this out, and I'm still not entirely clear. It means before the war. Wasn't widely associated with the U.S. Civil War until after it was over. The word comes from the Latin phrase antebellum, which does mean, in fact, before the war, and its earliest known print appearance in English dates back to the 1840s. So before the war, is it maybe that is a time when, I'm trying to piece this all together, and maybe you can help me if you reach out, Eric at ericzaneshow.com, that the South looked back fondly as, yes, antebellum, before the war, when we were allowed to really have slaves. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's something that Southerners in that time period look back on fondly, and that's what it's all about now. They like remember it in a nostalgic light. The antebellum era, when we could go and have slaves all over the place. And if that is the case, if that is the problem, and it might be, I might have just talked my way through it. Well, yeah, sure, that sounds like something that you would definitely want to get out in front of. But that's pretty fucked up. A spot in the first place, the group, and nobody told those fuckers for however many years since 2007 that that's a thing that was looked back on very fondly as the time when you could legally have slaves and treat them terribly. So you mean to tell me that 13 years later, Hillary Scott, Dave Haywood, and Charles Kelly, I had to confirm that that's who that was, are sitting there like about a week ago eating fucking dinner, and they go, hey, man, we're a bunch of racists. What are you fucking talking about? We just took that picture in front of that house. It's an antebellum house. We like the house. It's a good-looking house, remember? No! We're gonna get killed. We're gonna be drug out in the street, and they're gonna shoot us. Holy fuck! We got to change the name of the band right away. I guess. So that's it. Lady Antebellum out. Now they're known as Lady A. All right, I can live with that. Everybody loves these guys. I have no opinion, really. Not really my style of music, but there you go. You must buy Lady. Hey, you know what? If you've got like a Lady Antebellum, like it says Lady Antebellum on it, I mean, that might be a collector's item one day. You're going to have to destroy it. That's what you do. Because now everybody's ripping down the statues. We all know that, and that has to happen. We got to burn the rebel flag. We got to destroy the statues, and then we got to have a Lady Antebellum CD and merch burning party in the street. We go to Lowell, Michigan, have the former chief of police pour the gas on it, and he'll throw the match, and then he'll get his job back, and then everything's back to normal. We're all good. All right. Kenny says, Eric, did you reset the router today? The video keeps pausing for everyone. No, I didn't. That's embarrassing. Damn it. Well, muscle through it. All right. If it's Jack, we'll have to go back and listen to the live one or listen to the pre-recorded audio podcast. My apologies if it's jacked. Sometimes that happens. Damn it, I got to do something. Jason from JM Synthetics, he gave me a idea about something I could do, and since that phone call, I have not done it. I have not done it, but I'm meaning to. Brian writes, Eric, you need an intern. Don't worry about the person being offended or put off by you telling them how you like to have things done. Well, that's easier said than done. My last 2 gigs, that has not worked out. People don't like that, and they don't like nowadays, they don't like being around people like me that do that. So I don't know if that's in any way going to work. If it needs to be done a certain way for it to work for you, then that's how it is. They can't handle it. There's the door, friend. Yeah, that's true, but that has never worked out for me. We do not live in a day and an age when you can get away with that. And I've been burned by that more than once, and that attitude does not fly. So I would just rather do it myself. It's much easier than having to deal with all of that. No, thank you. He says, I have the same issue with the woman I manage at work. She doesn't do the work how I tell her to do, and it infuriates me. I want to scream sometimes when I catch her mistakes. Since she is older than me, nearly my mother's age, it is difficult for me to correct her and set her straight, something I need to work on, but still a good example of someone not doing their job properly that needs to be corrected. Maybe I will have you do a cameo to put her on the right path one day. I don't know, man. I know you're dealing with that because that's come up in Dear Meathead several times. Is that not the worst? You have to work with someone, and then you, like, try to, and then it's like, oh, God, they're acting like I just fucking stole their birthday. Oh, no. Problem. Okay. Again, I apologize if there is an issue on the video. Damn it. I'm so sorry. Hey, I have these Kilwin's gift cards, which are good anywhere in the world. $25 each. And that gets you a lot of confections, candy, chocolates, fudge, you name it. If you went in person to the downtown Grand Rapids store with your gift card, that is Bob Kaiser's store. Beautiful downtown Grand Rapids. This all comes about because Bob's business was vandalized during the riot, looted. Mike Gilmurray from Baldwin Ace Hardware said, hey, man, Bob's a good friend of mine. I'm buying 6 $25 gift cards to Kilwin's. Can you give them away in the podcast? I go, hell yeah, I will, man. So if you want a $25 gift card, I'm going to have a drawing. And I've got probably 10, 12 of you who sent me an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com, subject line Kilwins, Kilwins, who are in the running for that drawing a week from today. So if you like this podcast or you're listening to it, just send me an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com, subject line Kilwins, and you are in the running for the gift card. 6 $25 gift cards. You got pretty good odds of winning right now because not a ton of you are in the drawing, but do it. 1 per person, please, and then I will have that drawing. And then if you are in the area, go to Bob's Kilwins, downtown Grand Rapids, Bob Kaiser's. Or if you're not, you can buy the stuff online. This is good anywhere, okay? I have a new Karen that I got to talk to you about. This is fucked up. This is just screwed up. This Karen is wreaking havoc in Torrance, California. You're not going to believe it. Horizon Hydroponics, Horizen, hydroponics.com. That's where you go to get all the stuff to help your stuff that's growing indoors in a hydroponic setting get to their biggest, most bountiful harvest. Whatever you're growing. Could be food. Could be flowers. It could be cannabis. All right? Thank you to Horizon Hydroponics for being on board with the show. They have all of their stores are open in Grand Rapids on Alpine, Byron Center. The Growers Outlet in Byron Center. Also Kalamazoo and Lansing. They're practicing social distancing, but the best part about them is the expertise that you get that goes along with it. These people all do this for either as a job or a hobby, growing, so they know everything there is to know about it. Get all you need at Horizon Hydroponics. If you buy it online, orders $250 and over, get free shipping anywhere in the United States. Excuse me. As you know, Baldwin Ace Hardware. Baldwin Ace Hardware. A beacon of DIY awesomeness in the Northland of Michigan. If you're headed up north, remember they are there. If you're a fan of this podcast, please seek them out. Seek the treasure. And head on in there and get your stuff that you need. It could be some fishing gear. They got a full pro shop there. Maybe you need a grill, whatever it is. Get it at Baldwin Ace Hardware. Don't buy it in whatever part of West Michigan or whatever part of Michigan that you're in and then bring it to your getaway place. Get it at Baldwin Ace Hardware. Support the sponsors, and thank you to Baldwin Ace Hardware. And finally, the Kent County Health Department encourages you to cough into your elbow, wear a mask, be socially distant, and be aware that starting on Monday, they have 4 COVID-19 testing stations in and around the county. You can get more information at accesskent.org, or if you want, you can call them up at 616-632-7100 for more information about anything COVID-related, or maybe with them being open up on Monday for the community, all of the sexually transmitted infections, shots, and treatments are all there to be utilized. That's a thing that has been shut down during the pandemic, but life is getting back to normal. Keep the key to access the WIC program as well. And you can get more information about the WIC program by calling 616-632-7200. All right. I got some dogs here that just haven't moved. Come on, guys. Dogs sleep all the damn time. It's like they sleep the whole damn day. Got to keep them active. All right. This time, the Karen is going after the Asians. Story goes, young Asian lady, probably early 20s, maybe late teens. From Michigan.
Fuck you! I'm trying to help you, motherfucker.
Remember her?
Shut your fucking mouth, bitch!
That crazy lady. This one is right up there with her. And this young Asian lady's doing exercises in the park. This is the type of park where you can go from station to station, maybe do some sit-ups, some pull-ups, some push-ups, a stair-step outdoor thing. And the lady, the crazy Karen, hates Asians. She goes and walks through, this Asian chick is on the steps doing step-ups, and she walks right by her and kind of knocks her off balance or whatever. And the lady goes, Jesus, the Asian chick. Well, that's all it took to get this kook. She was looking for a fight, this crazy lady. And so the Asian chick goes, Jesus. And then crazy lady just goes off. Asian lady busts out her cell phone and starts recording. Here you go. This is how it all sounded when it went down.
Hey, listen to me. We don't play games here anymore, okay? Next time you ever talk to me like that, you're gonna get your ass kicked by my family. They're gonna fuck you up.
What did I do?
Right. They're gonna fuck you up.
Why? What did I do?
Because you are an asshole.
Okay, no, wait a minute. She's an old lady. She's like old, I would say close to morbidly obese and just completely screwed up.
Hey, listen to me. We don't play games here anymore, okay? Next time you ever talk to me like that, you're gonna get your ass kicked by my family. They're gonna fuck you up.
What did I do?
Right. They're gonna fuck you
Why?
up.
What did I do?
Because you are an asshole. Look at the whole stairs to
But
yourself.
you had these
Why
stairs
don't
and
you go
that
somewhere
stairs?
else where you can go to a gym? This is not just for you.
All right, now she's not racist yet. She's just saying, it's just threatening.
Oh, you
Get
need
the fuck out of this world. Get the fuck out of this state. Go back to whatever fucking Asian country you belong in.
Okay,
You little
racist.
fucking bitch. This is not your place. This is not your home. We do not want you here. You
Ooh.
put that on Facebook. I hope you do. Because every
Shut your fucking mouth, bitch!
fucking person will beat the crap out of you from here on out.
Shut the fuck up!
Don't you ever say, oh, Jesus, to me when I want to use the stairs, you little bitch.
Get the fuck out of here!
There's other stairs.
You are a sick, fucking, ignorant teenager.
Oh,
Oh,
thank
wait,
you.
you're fucking what, middle-aged woman? Who wears black in California sun?
All right, now she finishes it with, who wears black in California, son? What? After all that, you then go to the chick's attire and rip her for her fashion choices? You're doing it backwards.
Who the fuck wears black? Are you an idiot?
Johnny Cash, you fucking moron.
You wear black in California sun? Seriously?
Holy shit. Man, these crazy bitches are so lucky that most people show restraint. Central Park Karen, the crazy chick at Meyer, this dumb bitch. When are we just going to see somebody ball up their fist and drive it so hard into the face of these crazy women that it like comes out the back of her head? I mean, everybody would love this. George Takei, from the Stern Show and Star Trek, Asian. He took that video and wrote, Twitter, do your thing. So people are trying to track this crazy bitch down. Well, she wasn't done there because she finished up with this chick, and this all happened on Wednesday of this week. And yesterday it started to take hold, the story. I didn't see it till last night. And but she wasn't done there because she encountered another Asian man. Bummer if you're an Asian dude at that park or a woman on that day with this sick bitch being there. Because this guy shows up and he's there with his 11-year-old kid and his 2-year-old kid. And they're just going to go walk around the park. They happen to park next to this beast after the incident that you just heard. And she goes after this guy. And thank God he recorded it too. And now the TV news got on board. And there's a story about this sick bitch. So this is how they're reporting on it in Torrance, California.
Okay, you're
Do you
making
know
a
how many
racist
people
comment right
can't
now?
stand you being
Oh,
here?
great.
You play games. We don't play games.
Oh, what kind of game are you playing?
I play games where you get to death.
What?
Racist rant.
I play games where you get fucked to death? What? Who is that? Diana? Hey, man. Yeah, I know what game she's talking about. My wife plays that with me. You should see my dick is actually purple. I play games where you get fucked to death. That game's not so bad if you've been, it's a little rough for me because everything's sore, but for some of you like that game.
What kind of game are you playing?
I play games where you get to death.
Racist
Can you
rant
imagine
part
if
2.
he goes, all right, well, let's do it.
She's at it again. A woman caught hurling ugly racist remarks at an Asian woman in a Torrance park, accused of doing the same thing to an Asian American man, and he pulled out his camera and hit record.
And he pulled out his dick and fucked her right there.
Now sharing new details about his disturbing experience. Eyewitness News reporter Eileen Frere joining us live with the story.
If there was ever a day that I'm going to get deplatformed, today's the day.
And the new video. Eileen.
And Mark, the man says that he and his kids go to Wilson Park all the time. They have never had any problems. It's always been peaceful until they encountered this woman, the man and his young son sharing their experience. They did not want their faces shown, fearing for their safety.
Did you just make a racist comment?
You know what? I am not a racist person.
You just...
How the fuck can you say that?
You just made a
But you know
racist
what?
comment.
You need to go home.
I am from here.
An angry
That poor guy. He's so innocent. He doesn't get it. He goes, I am from here.
confrontation caught on video by a 42-year-old Asian man at Wilson Park in Torrance after parking his vehicle next to this woman's spot.
She started to say racial slurs. I asked her to stop, but she continued.
We don't play games.
Oh, what kind of game are you playing?
I play games where you get to death.
In the vehicle listening, the man's 11 and 2-year-old sons.
I was sad because it was the first time in my life that a person discriminated my race.
My God, man. That's fucking terrible. That brings it all home right there when you hear the kid. Oh, that poor kid.
Respect. Respect people. Lady.
I can't understand your language.
Respect.
Oh, she's like mocking his accent.
Even more disturbing, less than half an hour before at the same park, an Asian woman filming herself exercising is confronted by the same woman for taking up too much space.
Go back to whatever Asian country you belong in.
Okay, race.
That video seen by millions.
This is not your home. We do not want you here.
Now a third person says she too encountered the same woman at a local mall in October 2019 and was physically assaulted.
Wow.
Like the other two, she says she filed a report with Torrance police.
Yeah, this is just like Meyer Lady. This is just like crazy. They should get Crazy Meyer Lady and this sick bitch and have those two sick bitches in like the octagon. I mean, that would be a pay-per-view that I would love to see.
Nothing came of.
And we could have this dumb bitch say something that is like blasphemous, and then Meyer Lady would put on like a Bruce Lee mask, and then that would incite both of them, and they would fucking do it right there in the octagon.
That this father says an officer told him the city won't likely bring charges against the woman.
He basically said that there was no direct threat. I pointed out to him that she said, I'm going to F you up to death.
Well, yeah, can you imagine the cops said, well, you should have fucked her.
That's a direct threat.
The mayor of Torrance says conduct like that displayed on the video cannot be tolerated. The mayor says public safety is a high priority. All visitors to our open spaces should always feel safe and free to exercise while practicing social distancing without conflict.
Now, Torrance police will only say that they are conducting an active investigation. In the meantime,
why do serial killers always kill the innocent? Why can't serial killers kill people like her? I mean, seriously, if they're, it would be so much easier for the world, I mean, if you see that this sick bitch is found up in 3 different bags because a serial killer killed her, it's not like the police are going to want to investigate that shit. It's win-win.
And
then the serial killer is satisfied for about 4 years. We should just take these 6 sons of bitches like her and put them on an island, just like my dad says, and say to this and call it Serial Killer Island. Half the island is serial killers. The other half is the people who are the crazy fuckers like her who are going to be the victims. And then the serial killers, when they get the urge, they just go take out one of these 6 sons of bitches.
posting on social media an invitation to the community to come out to exercise together 8 o'clock tomorrow morning at Wilson.
So many Asians are going to be there. It's going to be Asian only night at Wilson Park.
In their words, to sweat out this hate and fill up the park with love.
Fill up the park with Asians only. They got to find where this sick bitch lives and just have a Asians only protest. Maybe I would love just seeing that happen. My God. Horrible. Okay. We have paintball coming up, folks. Wednesday, July 29th, 6 to 9 p.m. Paintball War 8 has been announced. Paintball War 8, the COVID uprising. We are back. I need you to reach out to me, Eric at ericzaneshow.com, to RSVP for this event. Don't wait. If you hear this, hit pause, send me an email. I need to know sooner rather than later. I'd like to get a full head count and not sweating in at the last minute. Paintball War 8. I would love to see you there. It's going to set you back $35. You get the paint, you get the mask, you get the gun, you get a free pizza party. Wednesday, July 29th, 6 to 9 p.m. The following month. Wednesday, I'm announcing two here, August 19th. That's the second and third shifters party. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at TC Paintball in Grand Rapids. Paintball War number 9, the Dog Days of Paint. Same price, get all the same stuff. Reach out as to which event you're attending. Either Wednesday, July 29th, 6 to 9 p.m., or Wednesday, August 19th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get my T-shirts at ericzaneshow.com. Thank you. I would appreciate that. All the different styles, all the different logos, all there at ericzaneshow.com. Heating and cooling specialist is A&E Heating and Cooling, 616-516-8579. Senor Martinez, installing the Comfort Maker air conditioners and furnaces. Comfort with confidence, the Comfort Maker. $89 for a tune-up. If you're a Zane Show podcast listener on the AC, $79 is the price of that. Call Joe Martinez, 616-516-8579. You might not need him now, but remember, I got a heating and cooling guy. If you even need to reach out to me directly, send me an email, and I'll point you in the right direction for Joe Martinez. And last but not least, it's time for this spot segment. Blue Frost IT, providing managed IT service provider skills to small and medium-sized businesses throughout the land. You can reach out to them at bluefrostit.com. 616-200-8550 for all of your IT needs. My gosh, think about it. If your business is like moving to another part of town, you need new IT. That's what they do. They set you up with everything. Or if your business is existing and running great on the IT setup you have, you should have a managed IT service provider ready at your beck and call. That's what they do. Call them again, 616-200-8550 for Blue Frost IT. Thanks to Kevin and Muskegon for sending this along. Hold on a second. Let me get to some emails first. First of all, Jason says, I'm in for Paintball War 8, the COVID uprising. Thank you, Jason. Zaniac Tim, who his emails usually miss the mark. And it's usually pretty hilarious. Holy hell, you leftist mouthpiece. At this point, you're just another leftist talking head. You've gone full 1984 Orwellian. Did I just hear you talk yourself into justifying changing names and tearing down statues? Yeah, well, yeah, fuckface. I've been talking about tearing down statues for the whole week. Where have you been, you stupid idiot? Okay, dumbass. Let's play this out to its logical conclusion. The name Eric Zane makes me think of slavery. I'm now offended. Therefore, you must change your name or be canceled. Best wishes, you moron. Signed, Emailer Tim. No, you stupid son of a bitch. How much more simple does it have to be? It's always the same thing. You stupid fuck, slippery slope cocksuckers always go the extra mile to try to make something that makes sense seem stupid. The fuck is wrong with you? I didn't do any, and that has nothing to do with it. My name has nothing to do with slavery. Lady Antebellum, they explained what's going on. Yes, it's a reach, but maybe it's besides, it's their band. They can change the name of their band if they want to. And I explained to you what Antebellum is all about. I told you exactly what it was all about. And yet you still then go to a made-up scenario about my name. Tim, I think I can take you. I might show up at work and actually whip your skinny ass. Holy fuck. All right. Thank you to Kevin and Muskegon for sending in the story close to home here in West Michigan. I love seeing the video feed images of these pain-in-the-ass pussy millennials with their face masks on, wearing their prison gear or their jail gear as they look up at a camera and talk to a judge in a disgraceful moment for their horrible behavior. The latest pieces of shit that tried to rip up Grand Rapids are Matthew Hirth and Olivia Hall. 26-year-old Matthew Hirth and 23-year-old Olivia Hall appeared in court just the other day for the riot nearly 2 weeks ago. What did Hirth do? Well, they're saying they watched you burn a police cruiser from Wyoming. By the way, when I'm trying to start a fire sometimes, it takes me forever to even get a campfire going. Unless they brought gas with them, which I think they did, starting a fire is not the easiest thing to do, especially in a car like that. I mean, I would love to hear the exact way that these fires got started, because if it can show that you premeditated, like brought all your flammables, your incendiary devices with you, I'm thinking that should be some type of terror charge levied against you. Who knows? Maybe they're examining that. But you see all these things ignited, you know that these people, they brought to the riot shit like that. Hirth faces charges for burning the cruiser. He could face 10 years in prison and pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines. Oh, that would be so sweet. All these assholes. Now get this. 23-year-old Olivia Hall, this stupid bitch, is a mother of 2 young kids. Stupid bitch broke into a restaurant and looted it. What the fuck? She's also facing charges for driving recklessly and without a license in March. Whatever. Dale does that all the time. The judge set the chick's bond at $25,000. Wait a minute. Yeah, the chick's bond is set at $25,000, and the dude's bond is at $5,000. So I guess she might have a long, rich history, so she got the bigger bail. Good. Throw the book at him. All right. My pal Bleeding Heart Brian sent in an email with response to my story, or when I had Mike the cop on. By the way, I got some speculation that Mike the cop, who I had on a few days ago via the phone, that was his perspective from law enforcement. I agree with about 50% of what Mike was talking about, but I wanted to give him the opportunity. Excuse me. Some folks in the audience were speculating that was a YouTuber who goes by the name Mike the Cop. That was coincidental, not the same person. The cop who I had on, the real name of that person is not Mike, and there was no reference to where in the country that person is doing their police work. I think I told one person over the phone. So that means if all of you find out, that means the one person I told will have told everybody. So don't, because then I'll know it was you. You'll have revealed yourself. I don't think anything can happen to the person, but it doesn't matter. Bleeding Heart Brian. He's got a good brain on his, he's got a good head on his shoulders. I agree with very little of what he says, but we do agree with some things some of the time. The thing about Bleeding Heart Brian is, before I get to his letter, I've been talking about how I agree with Governor Whitmer. He did too. And Bleeding Heart Brian is obviously a liberal. I am not. So Bleeding Heart Brian was on board, and then he flipped. He can't stand what the governor has done. And a lot of people might say, see, Zane, you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. If a liberal is saying that the governor is wrong, it doesn't matter. Because I told you people. It has nothing to do with politics. Which, by the way, yesterday was a bad day. I know I keep going off on tangents, but whatever. It's how it works. The news was reporting in a lot of these states there's been spikes in coronavirus cases, which there's a lot of reasons for that. It could be, hospitalizations are up, so it might not just be because more people are getting tested. It might be that more people are getting sick because this is not done. So don't think for a second that you can let your guard down. Michigan had a good day yesterday, but Michigan cases have been on the rise. So I encourage you to, as we still wait for a vaccine, which is probably a year away, to do what you have done in the past, or we're going to be right back to lockdown. And then you're really going to be pissed off. You think you were pissed off before? When she relocks down the state, or your governor, your state, because you can't follow the rules, fuck. Good luck with that. It's going to be bad. It's caused an economic disaster, too, again, as the Dow, the bottom fell out on Wall Street again. 1,800-point drop. Oh! That's going to leave a mark. Just when we were getting it back. Ouch! All right, Brian writes this. Zane, Mike the Cop, I got to weigh in on this. Brian writes, Mike the Cop is the epitome of what matter is fighting against. Pause. That line right there is what is going to drive Mike the Cop over the edge. He is the epitome of what BLM is fighting against. Cops defending cops, Brian writes. The fact that Mike the Cop supported the conspiracy that the 75-year-old was hired to cause a disturbance while stating it's a known fact and not providing where he gets his information. Uh-oh. Mike, you going to take this? Secondly, he seemed to analyze the Buffalo video in order to defend the frontline actions. Parentheses, that may very well be protocol, but didn't analyze the George Floyd video so he could say whether or not he would have stepped in. In fact, Brian writes, Mike the Cop danced around your question as to what he thought he would do trying to make up hypothetical circumstances. Oh, boy. It was heard on video, the officer saying he has no pulse, and the other officer saying, I'm keeping him right here. The fact that Mike the Cop could not come out and say, had I been in that situation, I would have booted the offending officer in the face to save that man's life, tells me he likely would have acted in a similar manner. Oh, shit. Holy fuck. Mike the Cop saying he's arrested more whites than blacks. Well, of course. Whites make up a majority of the population. Him as saying more officers die than officers kill a citizen is not an excuse for officers' senseless killings of anyone. You signed up to be a police officer. You know the risk is you may not come home to your family. Parentheses, I'm not condoning criminals killing cops. End parentheses. But black Americans or Americans shouldn't have to assume the risk of being killed by a cop for a simple crime. That is a retort from Bleeding Heart Brian on Mike the Cop. All right, now I do think Mike the Cop did a very good job. I think he knocked it out of the park for the most part in how he handled himself, walking into what I would describe as a challenging environment to ask questions or to answer questions that are, on this podcast, I'll just come out and ask you, would you take a knee? Would you have stopped the other officers? He answered honestly on the taking a knee. I did detect some dancing, as you said, Brian, if you listen back to it, when he was talking about that. For me, I would have loved to have heard him say that he would have knocked Chauvin off of him or told him to get off. All right. Thank you to Brian for providing the insight. Thank you, as always, for Mike for participating. If you do have a response, Mike, send it along. Send me an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com. I talked about it earlier. Don't forget about tcpaintball.com, fully stocked pro shop. You can check them out, actually, tcpaintball.com or tcpaintballgr.com. Follow them on Facebook and book a party. Doesn't have to be for the paintball wars that we've got coming up. Book a party. Fun for the kids, fun for the adults. Team building. Great, unique gift. tcpaintballgr.com. And how about Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid? 616-202-5530. the best in the business when it comes to repairing cars. Veteran owned. Oh, my gosh. So fantastic. If you are in West Michigan, please get your vehicle fixed at Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. You help out the sponsors and mention my name when you head in the door or when you call them up at 616-202-5538. All right? Servicing domestic vehicles, Asian vehicles. Do you think that crazy lady has an Asian vehicle? I'm guessing not. Also, Audi, Mercedes, BMWs, and Minis. They fix it all. If you got a hybrid, that's where you're going to get it fixed. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, Irvines.com. Couple notes to finish up. Fear Bunker Trivia tonight. If you have not yet responded to the invite, do so. I will see you folks on Zoom. Let's go! Let's go! Sorry. I'm struggling.
Tyler.
Let's go!
This is a softball, and this is a home run. Call it binging.
Nice boobs, Kyler.
We're getting...
Binging. Binging. Let's go! Let's go!
Let's go!
Good job, Kyler.
Good job, Kyler.
We will. I'll have that live on Facebook for you if you want. If you want to check it out. Who will be the drunken moron this time around? That is tonight. Fear Bunker Trivia. The only way to get on Fear Bunker Trivia is to be part of Patreon. And then next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Dear Meathead Zoom. If you're on Patreon, you're invited. I'm sending out the invites very, very soon. You must respond. Well, you don't have to respond back. It kind of does it for you automatically when you click on the email if you want to be part of it. But if you are on Patreon, I will send you an invite. All you have to do is sign up, patreon.com/Eric Zane. And then you'll be invited for Dear Meathead Zoom with my dad. How fun is that? You are going to love that. I will moderate, and I'll have you can ask your questions of Dad. You'll be able to see him and Joanne. So much fun. Fantastic. Okay? Look at that. A lean and mean hour and a half or so. Thank you so much for your support, supporting the sponsors. If you have a business, let me know. I can get you into a marketing plan for a lot less than you think. Nobody buys radio anymore because nobody listens to radio anymore. It's boring. Does your radio show have too many people with microphones? Word. And not enough people actually saying anything? Word. It's ridiculous. I say more on this 90-minute podcast from my house than any radio show. Does radio and ignore everything because they're too scared to talk about it? Yeah, I know. It's fucking annoying. Does your radio show laugh too fucking hard at things that just aren't that fucking funny? Oh my God, how do you fucking endure that? Horrible. Thanks for listening to the podcast. I know I ain't perfect, but I'm a lot fucking better than that. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you down the road. Bye-bye.